First of all, though, gentlemen, a few weeks ago we celebrated the wonderful 30th anniversary of Zelda, which made us all feel very old. It's been 10 years since the Twilight Princess came out, and it's out again with new HD visuals. Rob Crossley reviewed it for us. He gave it 9 out of 10.
He did.
I know. I like it. 0.2 better than what it was when it came out 10 years ago. Ugh.
That was an infamous review back then, was it not?
What? Jeff did it?
Well, it was around the same time as the whole, Kane Lynch.
Oh, really? Was
bullshit.
it? Was it right around that time?
Yeah.
That's why he really got axed, because he didn't give it that 0.2 extra it needed. Mike, so you didn't review it. Rob reviewed it out of the UK. Video reviews up on the website now. But you have been playing it?
Yeah,
last
definitely.
week.
Yep.
What's your take on it? What's it feel like?
There are definitely some things that don't hold up as well as I mean, I always thought those first 2 hours were a slog.
Right. Yeah.
Not as much so. They do take a couple of those chores out that you're doing on the ranch and whatnot. You still have to hoard all those goats.
Yeah, you can do
herd all those goats.
Herd all the girts.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's annoying. But and it's still, I like it a lot. But there are some spots in between the dungeons that I don't remember being as kind of cloying as they are now. Or as just as much as they used to be, but in hindsight, I don't remember as much.
How does it control? Because this was a game, it came out on, this was the one that was like GameCube and Wii.
Yeah,
Wii and then GameCube.
Right, Wii and then GameCube.
Briefly.
So they did have a non-motion control version. But what does it feel like playing that game like 10 years later? Does it feel like it, because there's so much stuff in that game with like archery and like horse riding, like does it feel that like it works still, or is it a little bit janky?
It feels better than like what I remember. I remember I was kind of forced myself to like most motion controls on the Wii, and then the GameCube felt fine. The camera I kind of remember being a little wonky. If you weren't using Z targeting, I think it was kind of hard to get Link to go straight. But the motion with the gamepad, the actual motion controls, those actually work really well, just like they do with the 3DS games. And I like those. That's nice to not have to use like the thumbstick to aim every time you want to use the slingshot or the bow.
Smashing.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of questions in the Twitch chat. Keep them coming in, folks. Do at Daniel Dwyer on the Twitch chat there if you want to make sure I see it. I got a couple of other little questions though about it. I guess like I don't even know how you review a game like this when it comes out again, because it's like, okay, do we like? I feel like we have this conversation every couple of weeks now because there's so many of these remakes. But like, how do you judge a game based on like how it plays? Taking nostalgia, do you take nostalgia out of the equation completely? Can you do that?
He better have.
But then, like, how do you like mechanically? It's obviously 10 years in the past and doesn't have like the same.
Yeah.
It doesn't work as well.
Rob did a good job of explaining how some of the things that seem outdated in the old Zelda game, it's because they maybe are oversimplified. But the way that they exist within the game is justified by the things they open up and the things they allow to happen. I'm trying to think of a specific example, but yeah, like it might be a little bit dated, but it also is dated in a way that it offers experiences that we don't normally see anymore because we've kind of graduated from that type of game design.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't think Rob really was influenced by nostalgia too much. Like he seemed to make a pretty strong argument for why he thinks this game makes sense right now and why it's such a great experience.
It was really divisive when it came out, I remember. I didn't grow up with Nintendo consoles, and this was, I think this might have been the first Zelda I played was Wind Waker, but this was the first I think I bought on launch day. And to me it was like, oh, okay, I get this. I wasn't too much into like the wolf aspect of it.
No one really is, I don't think.
Yeah. Do you think that it's still a fondly remembered game? Because people, I remember around that time, were really looking for a realistic-looking Zelda game. And then they got it, but then a lot of them didn't really seem to dig it in the end.
It's divisive. I mean, I know, kind of like Mike described, the opening few hours are kind of crap for some people. And the same thing was said about Skyward Sword, and it caused a lot of people to write the game off entirely.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like people also do like it, because it's dark, right? I mean, it's a side of the Zelda universe that we don't get to see very often. Majora's Mask is the only other game in the series I can really think of that kind of delves into sinister themes, as it were.
Yeah.
So I think people really do appreciate it for that reason alone, in some cases.
Hassan in the chat says people fondly remember it for its dungeons. That's also something that Rob brought up in the review. Do you dive into a bunch of those? Do they still feel as fresh as they did back in 2006?
Yeah, I like them more than I remember. I think I kind of had that experience of taking, the rose-colored glasses off after playing last week. There are a few things that I don't like as much as I used to, but the dungeons definitely, not only how well they're designed in terms of the puzzles themselves inside the dungeons, but I think Twilight Princess was the first game in the series I played where they really contextualize the dungeons. So it's not just this random temple that, you know, the sage is built to, or that was built to house a sage, and you know, it's not this like out of context thing. It's this mansion up on a mountain where the Yeti lives. It's a mine where the Gorons live. It's like a actual tree on the edge of the forest where all these monkeys are hanging out. They did a really good job of, they're like believable locations. Oh, the butts are still pretty. I'm
HD
immature.
now.
They get me. Yeah. Oh, the very detailed butts.
Good. How does it look? Actually, how does it sound?
Both are very good. You had mentioned how it's a much darker game overall, and I think the soundtrack itself, the score really, I don't know if they've changed it too much. It sounds great, and it kind of emphasizes that. I think the older I've gotten, the more I don't love the art style as much anymore, but I love the overall tone of the game. I think maybe when I was younger, I was expecting more of like a Wind Waker kind of whimsical thing.
Yeah.
And I like this a lot more that I've kind of grown up with the series.
Smashing. There you go. Yeah.
Did you hear that somebody found there was like a framed painting in one part of the game, and inside that painting was one of the concept art for the new Wii U game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they stuck that in there.
Wow. So I wonder, was that just found today?
I think it was like just on Gaff today.
Right.
But what's funny is someone else in that thread put up a photoshopped image with that Assassin's Creed concept art from the Uncharted 4 trailer.
I was going to say, it reminded me of that last week.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a bunch more. I wonder if over the next couple of weeks, are people going to start like data mining the game for any clues on.
Good luck.
Are we going to see that new Zelda this year?
We better.
We kind of have to, right?
Yeah, we really do. I mean, I don't think the game's not going to sell if it gets pushed back, but I think Nintendo needs goodwill, and that would be putting the game out this year.
And do you also, I saw the Justin Haywald and Andy Bauman put up a great interview with Phil Spencer earlier today on GameSpot, and he was talking about how he believes the NX will be shown off at E3 this year. Is that pretty much set on at this stage? Is there confident?
E3 isn't set in stone, but it seems pretty concrete that it'll be around that time, whether they do it through a Nintendo Direct or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, E3 isn't, it's kind of a weird place to announce a console these days. It seems to be better suited to games.
Well, one of the most successful consoles in the world was announced at E3 and released the next day. So maybe
the Sega Saturn is what you're referring to.
Yeah, maybe they'll do a Sega Saturn. And
no, retailers didn't even know that thing was going to be available. So like that, I don't know. I think Nintendo has done a good job of distinguishing what they do and what E3 is over the past few years, and I think they're going to maintain that relationship. And it'll probably be that we hear about the console beforehand, and then we see more extensive demos of games at E3 with hands-on time.
Yeah, that's kind of the way they do that now, I guess.
Yeah,
it's going to be a weird E3 with that and EA doing their own thing, and the PC gaming show is coming back, for better or for worse. Do you remember that?
I remember the presentation.
That was weird.
It was weird.
Yeah, it was like our show. It was like a stage show. It just lasted for fucking 4 hours or something.
I know. Yeah. Commendable effort, but
yeah, maybe it'll be better second time.
Yeah.
Anyway, we shall see at the Electronic Triple. But yeah, if you're interested in Twilight Princess, let us know in the comments below. What's up, Andy? What are you doing over there? It's Andy's last show, by the way, so he's probably going to start doing some crazy nonsense on this. So, boo. What was that, boo? Was that? Boo?
I don't want him to leave.
Yeah, I don't want him to leave either. So yeah, pull out all your tricks today, Bauman, all right? Make it look real weird. Yeah, there you go, look.
I'm taking over camera work.
Let's get some gifs out of this show.
Not really, I'm kidding.
Good work. Yeah, let us know what you think in the comments below.